It's nice to have, 10,000 followers, but we don't really look at any of the vanity metrics in terms of follower count. We look at the amount of likes, comments, and shares on a post to see how successful each one is. And then we'll go back the month before just to see which one of those posts had the most engagement and see what we can do to replicate that type of content for that upcoming month of content.
This is Social Pulse Podcast Hospitality Edition, your essential resource for mastering the unique challenges of social media marketing in the hospitality industry authentically. I'm your host, Mike Allton, and each episode we dive deep into the real issues, from evolving guest expectations to standout social campaigns, sharing insights and strategies you can put to work. Let's get started with today's episode. Welcome back to Social Pulse Podcast Hospitality Edition, where we're digging into the challenges, the successes, and the stories of social media community professionals in the industry, just like you. Subscribe to gain valuable insights that you'll be able to apply to your own work and social presence from each and every episode. Now, social media marketing for tourism is no walk in the park. Constantly battling to stay relevant and engaging in the fast-paced digital landscape can feel like an uphill climb. The unique blend of promoting destinations, driving sales, and keeping an audience captivated is riddled with challenges. How do you break through the noise? How do you maintain engagement and drive results in an ever-changing industry? The frustration and pressure can be overwhelming, but the good news is there are proven strategies and solutions to these hurdles. Our guest today is the key to unlocking these solutions. Kevin Furst, the social media manager at Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau, has an impressive background in crafting successful social media campaigns and building engaging communities with experiences spanning from consumer packaged goods to the ski and recreation industry. Kevin has consistently turned challenges into triumphs through creative and innovative solutions. Today, Kevin's going to share his insights and experiences on navigating the social media challenges in the tourism sector. Hey, Kevin, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mike, thanks for having me.
So glad to have you. How do you start by just sharing some of the common challenges you face in social media marketing for tourism?
So, for the Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau, what makes us so unique is how large we are as a destination. We're about 2,400 square miles, which is roughly the size of the state of Delaware. We are also a membership based organization. So, we have 600 plus members that are essentially our clients, and we are posting on their behalf to our audience of almost 675,000 followers across all platforms. So, one of the major challenges we do have is making sure that we get enough content for our members and making sure that they're getting posted on these platforms. So, as you can imagine, with 600 plus members, and it's a social media team with two people, getting to all of those members and creating all that content for the members can be quite a challenge. So we like to break everything down by, season. We are a four-season destination, so we have a lot of members and businesses that are just winter based. We have some that are just solely summer. So we're always thinking 2 to 3 months ahead just so we can get that content, whether it's us going out and capturing it, whether it's us requesting that content from the member. We're always that 2 to 3 months ahead just to make sure that we have all of our content lined up. Do we have to go out and get video for a reel, for a TikTok? Do we have to help, get some photos for an upcoming blog post? So I think one of the biggest challenges for us in the Pocono Mountains is covering such a large area with 600 plus members. But we've come up with some, creative solutions to help us make sure we're checking all those boxes and getting our members out in the social mix.
That is, first of all, a huge knowledge bomb that you've dropped already, which is that we need to be thinking seasonally, folks. We need to be thinking ahead and planning for the kind of content and conversations that we're going to want to have 2, 3, 4 months down the road. But just to help me understand real quick, the members, are these the businesses, the resorts, and that sort of thing in the Poconos? Is that who's a member of your organization?
Yeah, so we cover a four-county region in the Poconos, and everybody from a large water park resort right down to a mom and pop shop boutique, they can sign on to become members and get some pretty major benefits at becoming a member through social media coverage. We have our own television network, Pocono Television Network, blogs, website. billboards. So we have a lot of resources available to these members for most of the time a very small fee. So we help them get their business out in front of millions of people.
Wow. Okay, so you're covering a massive landmass. You also are working and serving a huge number of local businesses, all while trying to stay ahead of an industry that's changing quite rapidly all the time. How do you do that? How are you staying ahead? How are you maintaining audience engagement on social media?
So the biggest thing we do to stay ahead is when I first started the job 3 years ago, I came in and I would say it was like 3 months in. They're like, "So what did we do for member XYZ?" And I just sat there at my desk like, "I can't tell you. I have no idea." So I built this massive spreadsheet that tracked how many times we posted, what time of the day, and this was that time I was doing everything manually. So I could quickly look at this spreadsheet and see how many posts per season, how many posts per quarter each one of those members got. And that helped get me to a certain point. But then we implemented Asana. So with Asana, our entire PR and marketing teams can go on there and see what content, what themes, whether it's an annual event coming up or a social media holiday, upcoming blogs. We do a lot of posts that are centered around our blogs, more itinerary based. So that helps kind of plan out some of that content in advance. But we're also looking backwards too. So at the beginning of each month, we'll look at the previous 3 months to see what content performed the best. And then since we're planning 2 to 3 months in advance, we'll look at the content that we posted that month for the last 3 years. So that'll help us identify any annual events that maybe a member didn't send to us yet, any events that maybe we don't have an updated date and time for, any social media holidays. That there's a social media holiday for just about everything. So what we always look to see, are there any that we missed that did really well in the previous 3 years? So we're using the spreadsheet just to check out how many posts each member had, Asana for our entire team to collaborate across, marketing, membership, and PR and the television network. So we're using all of that to help create content. And then we're also using our website search data. So I'll go in there on a weekly basis and see what visitors to our website are searching for. A good example was last February. Every year for Valentine's Day, we'll go in, I would say like the last week of January, early February, we'll start posting Valentine's Day content. Last year, when I went in early January, Valentine's Day was already the third searched topic, most
Mhm.
searched topic on the website. So we pivoted pretty quickly and started posting that Valentine's Day content, knowing that's what people were looking for. So we're always looking at all the different data sources and also what the visitors are commenting on each of the channels. We'll look at all that, and then on a monthly basis, we'll also post just a text post on Facebook saying, "What are you looking forward to the most this fall in the Poconos?" And we'll categorize each one of those comments on that post just to help us cater what upcoming content we should start producing.
Yeah, and as someone who's actually been to the Poconos over Valentine's Day, I can attest to not only what a nice place it is, but the need to research that and understand, is this a really good place to go? What would I do in the middle of February in, the Atlantic Northeast? But I wonder if you could provide a specific example, because this sounds fantastic, by the way. All these different tools and the way that you've built them up to keep not only yourself ahead, but keep your teams informed. That's terrific. How have you worked with specific campaigns? I'm looking for an example maybe of a challenging campaign and how you navigated it successfully.
So last year we had a pretty mild winter last year, and we struggled with getting our visitors to know that our ski areas are open. So, if someone's coming from New York City or Philadelphia and it's 50 degrees and there's no snow in the backyard, people are not necessarily thinking about skiing. So last year we launched a campaign to promote all of our live webcams throughout the region. So we have one or multiple live webcams at each one of the ski areas. So we were posting on a weekly basis a live look in
Hmm.
at this specific ski area with everything that ski area has to offer. So whether it was kick off the ski season, this ski area is making snow, January's learn to ski and snowboard month. So we were identifying certain key, events and activities at each one of the resorts and using our live webcams as a way to show people like, hey, it's cold here. It may not be snowing and it may not be 32 degrees in New York City, but we've got tons of snow. Come out for the day, come out for a weekend. So we use that both on social media. We put that onto billboards throughout the region as well, digital campaign, and also ran some broadcast commercials around our live webcams. And it was an easy way to use tools we already had with the live webcams just to get the word out.
But that's also a complete omni-channel campaign. So that is really impressive. A lot of marketers haven't really tackled that specifically. You mentioned two social media pros on your team. How big is the team overall?
That's myself and the social media coordinator.
That's your entire marketing team.
Well, just for social media. Entire marketing team, I think there's 8 of us now.
Got it. Okay. Still not a large team, and yet you're doing these, boots on the ground campaigns that are coordinated with digital campaigns. That's terrific. Let's talk about community engagement because a lot of the folks that I've talked to on this show, community is huge, and some would argue it's essential. I'm wondering how and what that role is, the role of community engagement, and how that plays off into your overall social media strategy.
So community engagement is probably one of the biggest things that we look at for the success of a social media post. It's nice to have, 10,000 followers, but we don't really look at any of the vanity metrics in terms of follower count. We look at the amount of likes, comments, and shares on a post to see how successful each one is. And then, like I said earlier, we'll go back the month before just to see which one of those posts had the most engagement and see what we can do to replicate that type of content for that upcoming month of content. We do have a team that does help with answering our comments. So we do try to go in and answer every social media comment that's posted on all of our channels within 2 hours. And we do it in such a way that it'll elicit a response. So we're asking if someone says I had such a great time there and say they went whitewater rafting, we'll ask them like, was it your first time? Did you stay for the bonfire after? So we'll ask them some questions that will hopefully get a response back just to start that conversation. We've also had campaign posts go out and campaigns where somebody will ask a question and then we turn around and we plan their entire vacation to the Pocono Mountains just through the comments and DMs, which is pretty cool. So they'll say, "Hey, I'm coming to Stroudsburg. We're staying here. It's just me and my wife. What can we do?" So we'll hook them up with the historic walking tour, the Pocono Beverage Trail. If they like outdoor hiking, we'll direct them to different hiking trails within the Delaware Water Gap. So we'll build that entire itinerary. And on our website, we do have an itinerary builder. We can build the whole thing out, send them the link, and all they do have to do is click on it, and they have their entire trip ready to go. We always try our best to answer the questions and also be as transparent as we can in answering them if somebody has a question about anything, just to keep that engagement going.
That's awesome. So, those of you listening, if you're looking or thinking about going to the Poconos, just start a conversation on their social channels.
Yeah.
They'll plan the whole trip for you for free. That's fantastic. You already talked once about how you were integrating social media, the live feeds, the billboards, and that sort of things. Do you have any other examples of how you integrate your social media efforts with some of those other omni-channel mediums?
So one that we just launched recently is another focus on our small towns. So we are going out and capturing social media content that is itinerary based. So say it's, hey, check out 5 places to eat in downtown Stroudsburg. If you love the outdoors, make sure you check out Delaware Water Gap, and we'll build out an itinerary from the hike to a place to eat, different places to shop, for let's say a TikTok or a reel, and then we have billboards on the major interstates that say check out Delaware Water Gap exit 310 that are on the highway leading up to that exit off the highway before they go into New Jersey. And then with our broadcast commercial, we have I think at this point, we have something pretty much for all of our large, major small towns in the Poconos, showing off everything they have to offer. So, and a lot of this wouldn't be possible without we have quarterly strategic content meetings with the entire team and leadership and our membership team, and we go over whether it's someone on our board mentions certain things they're seeing within their communities, if they're seeing certain things slow down in their neighborhood or at their business. We'll work that into our content strategy. And then we also listen to all of our members. So we do send out, I think it's quarterly emails now with a survey of what are you guys doing? What can we do better? How can we help? And we use that to plan all of our campaigns.
That's terrific. I love that level of planning and integration. Folks, we're talking with Kevin Furst about some of the many challenges facing marketing pros in the hospitality industry. And I know one of those challenges is simply the sheer volume of content that's got to be created and shared to social media. To help with that, here's one of our latest features at Agorapulse.
Hey there, Daryl Braille, Chief Marketing Officer here at Agorapulse, the industry's best social media management platform. I gotta tell you, I love AI. Why? I don't view it as a threat. Rather, it makes me better. It's a colleague. It's a collaborator. Let's say I do a social media post, but you know what? I'm a little long-winded. I want it shorter. Maybe I want it longer. Maybe I want it punchier, more assertive, more inspirational, more funny. That's what our writing assistant does. Check it out, agorapulse.com.
So, Kevin, I'm wondering what are some creative solutions that you've implemented to overcome obstacles and drive results? I think the use of the spreadsheet and Asana is a great example. What are some others from you?
So, not a sponsored podcast here, but we recently this year just started using Agorapulse, and that was a huge tool that we brought into our marketing mix and social media mix as well. That has so far has saved us so much time in scheduling content as well as listening to what our followers and visitors are saying, what our members are saying on the platforms as well. But also a big part of it was we were missing the major component of reporting. And then reporting was a big thing that we were missing. So we would have members reach out, whether it's on a monthly basis after a large event, if we're doing a co-op, they would reach out asking how everything performed on social media. And before that was all manual. So we
Wow.
were going into yeah, we were going into each back end of the platforms, finding the date that those were posted for that specific member or event, pulling all that data, putting into a spreadsheet, making pretty graphs and charts, which would take hours. So now with the Agora Pulse platform and using the labels, we're able to pull a report and get it off to a member 5-10 minutes. And because each one of these members is a stakeholder, we do label each one of our posts with the county that it's in, the city it's in, the name of the business or member, any like key attributes, whether it's outdoor adventure, whether it's biking or winter campaign, if it's a blog post, if it's on our television network. And we can quickly, create those reports and see how something's performing. And then I'll also see how we can improve things as well for upcoming campaigns or posts.
Okay, that's fantastic. And I also have to be transparent. I didn't know. I learned, folks, the same time that you did, that Kevin used Agorapulse. I wasn't aware you were a customer. So thank you for sharing that. That's fantastic. And I love that you're using the labels because as you were talking about your use, and as soon as you mentioned being able having to find manually a post, that one of your members was interested in the labels feature, popped out of my mind. And for those who aren't familiar, if you're not using Agorapulse, anytime you share a post, or even if you're looking at a comment or a direct message, you can label it inside of Agorapulse. That just makes it super easy to surface that kind of content in a variety of ways, and the labels are up to you. So you can use it, just like Kevin said, for counties or specific members. You could use it for types of posts. There's a lot of options there. So back to you guys, Kevin. I want to talk more about the work that you're doing because it sounds like you're doing a lot of education. How important do you think that is? Educating your audience about the benefits of all these different destinations you're promoting.
So the education is super important for not only the visitor but also our member. So we do a little bit of both. So we have quarterly meetings with our members to let them know what's available, how we can help with social media as one of those tools. And then we also kind of educate them what we're seeing in certain trends, what's performing well, and what content we need from them, whether it's they post it themselves and we repurpose it, or we come out and capture that content of what our audience wants and what they're looking for. On the visitor side, it's been a lot of trial and error, as social media platforms are changing what seems like on a daily basis. So we've learned through our audience, looking at TikTok, our itineraries, showing a tour, day in the life of content performs really well. Visitors are using social media now more than search engines to plan their trips. So the more we can pack into that 30, 45-second video showing them, hey, 9 a.m. I'm grabbing breakfast here, 10:30 a.m. I'm hitting the trails here, 1 p.m. I'm grabbing a beer at this brewery. We're planning their entire day in one post, whether it's showing off the entire Poconos in that post or that specific town. Our content is trying to educate everybody where or how to plan their trip, but also how much there is to do here in the Poconos. Some people just think of us as, a water park destination. We have 3 water parks in the Poconos within 30 minutes of each other, and then with the 6 ski areas. So what we're always trying to, plan that entire day. So we'll show, hit the water park in the morning and then drive 10 minutes down the road to go to the outlets, to go another 10 minutes and hike in the national park. So that's the type of content that resonates the most with our visitors and viewers on our platforms. Most of our most of our platforms, except YouTube, do skew heavily towards women between ages of 25 and 45. So we definitely cater towards that audience, just because most of the time it's the moms that are pushing that buy button on the vacation. For our YouTube, that more houses content, more longer form content for our television network, but we have started jumping into the YouTube shorts.
I love that you're focusing on telling stories and showing people what it would be like if they were there. It gives them that ability to relate and understand and see themselves as somebody who's already enjoying a day in the Poconos, getting up early, going for a hike, having a beer later. That's all very, storytelling esque. So I love that. From a tool perspective, you mentioned a couple, Asana, Agorapulse. Are there other tools, or are there other features of those tools that have really helped you manage and navigate social media and all the challenges therein?
I think just implementing both Asana and Agorapulse both saved us hours of time on a daily and weekly basis. Asana's become a pretty big tool as well, because we've built custom forms for our members. So we'll send out member communications where they can go in to that form, let us know upcoming events, let us know upcoming deals, send us photos through the form. We'll also tell them what upcoming social media holidays are coming up in the next 2 to 3 months, and what do they offer that could tie into those holidays. And then that'll help us with team of two
Hmm.
get out there, schedule time, get content for those specific days. I would say between Agorapulse and Asana, and listening to all the podcasts out there and checking out other destinations to see what's performing well for them, I would say those are the biggest two that help streamline this major beast of content creation.
Terrific, terrific. So then, my final question is, how do you measure it all? How are you connecting the dots between the work that you're doing on social media and the impact that that's having on the actual business? Are there specific metrics or KPIs that you prioritize? And like literally, how do you connect those dots?
So for us, we do look at the overall impressions and reach, but we also look at the engagement and click-throughs to our website. So our website, we don't want visitors spending hours on it. We want that to be a springboard to where they'll go in, check out that member's listing, and then hopefully hit that book now or visit website. So we're tracking that entire journey from social media or a paid ad, all the way over to, are they clicking through that website. We've changed our website, redesigned it recently, and we're excited when we see, them go to a listing and then they're leaving the site almost immediately to go to our member site. Any other at their website might get a little scared when that
Right?
bounce rate bounce rate skyrockets, but we're measuring that click through to a member site, and we're also getting monthly reports from tourism economics, looking at the occupancy and just all overall booking and traffic into the Poconos. So what we use those as the main indicators to how well the region's doing, and we're in constant communication with each one of our members as well as our board, which is made up of member properties. So we have a good idea of what's performing well, where there's some, weak points, what we need to push. Like right now, we're leading up into a very busy fall season, and our small towns do get double, triple, quadruple the traffic for fall foliage. So we're in the process of launching some campaigns that focus on those small towns with some tips of like where to find parking, where to find the best scenic overlooks, arrive early, itineraries. So what we're trying to get ahead of the traffic in these small towns and try to help them manage that a little better.
Love those perspectives, and I couldn't agree more with how you are measuring the success. Too often, frankly, I ask people those questions, and they start talking about vanity metrics. They start talking about engagement, and that's where they stop. I mean, it's important. You made this point earlier to look at how much engagement you're getting on social media, but that's not a business metric. That's not helping your bottom line if it's not leading to traffic and actual revenue. And that focus on your members is very commendable. Kevin, this has been so much fun. I've loved this conversation. For folks who want to know more about you and your bureau and your terrific organization, where can they go?
Head to poconomountains.com, or you can check me out individually on LinkedIn.
Terrific. And folks, will have all the links to Kevin and the Poconos in the show notes. That's all we've got for today, folks. But don't forget to find the Social Pulse Podcast Hospitality Edition on Apple and drop us a review. We'd love to know what you think. Until next time. Thanks for tuning in to the Social Pulse Podcast Hospitality Edition, hosted by Mike Allton and powered by AgoraPulse, the #1 rated social media management solution. Discover more at agorapulse.com. Enjoyed the episode? Please subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review. Your feedback drives our content.
This podcast is heard along the Marketing Podcast Network. For more great marketing podcasts, visit marketingpodcasts.net.